There is an interesting paradox at the moment, and that is while Linux users, and not all of them, but a large portion of them, tend to hate AI, they forget that AI runs on Linux. It powers this thing that its own community rejects. I bring this up because you'll often read people say, oh no, I don't use X in Windows because of the AI and all of that nonsense. I use Linux. Yeah, okay, that's cool, but you do know it's powering the AI systems, right? So every single one of the world's 500 fastest computers runs Linux, okay? Every AI training cluster is built on Linux. That is it. Do you know 90% of cloud AI workflows? You're never going to see that. The AI that you use every day, or you don't use every day, or you see someone else use every day, runs on Linux. NVIDIA's CUDA is Linux first. It's their data center business, which has over 88% of the revenue, including the GPU compute layer that trains every major model, is actually a Linux story and how well Linux has done for that and Linux has been adopted. Over 78.5% of AI devs use Linux either as the primary or secondary platform. This backslash isn't necessarily only about hating the tech, it's who controls it, who profits from it. And there's been different platforms out there using policies for LLM assisted contributions. And here's some of the things just out there. Privacy concerns, having it baked into browsers and OS feels like always on data collection. Completely get that. For options, of course, you could use something like Vivaldi, which markets no built-in AI. Code quality is always an interesting one. Open source maintainers say AI generated PRs are creating more work, and it's harder to maintain because AI is sludge filling repos. And you know what? I do see that. I've experienced it. And I do get that. I think maybe in the right hands it's not too bad, but geez, if you don't have any experience, woof, it's interesting. The whole license thing, training a GPL code without attributions, folks call it community theft. Job displacement, unfortunately, that is just unbelievable. And really, the irony is AI partly automates away the very developer roles that actually built the open source ecosystem. So who's going to benefit from this work is gone. You know who controls the AI. And having it cramped down into everyone's throat is not cool. For some users, it feels like a bit like betrayal. And that's why they choose Linux to have that control. But as I said, the irony is seriously crazy. Every major AI lab runs Linux, okay? There's no exceptions for that. CUDA is primarily a Linux technology. Not only that, not only do the labs run Linux, but the open source AI runs on Linux. Things like Llama, Docker, Kubernetes, the entire open source AI stack is Linux native. You cannot run it properly on anything else. You can't go run on Windows. And if you do, you're probably going to use WSL. Okay. A lot of AI workloads are containerized. So it's a revolution wearing a different hat. Over $22.28 billion server market. And Red Hat alone owns 43% of the enterprise market. Ubuntu's at 33%. These are for machine learning deployments. Yeah. Ironically, Linux helped build the AI boom that many Linux users are now criticizing. The foundation and the friction comes from the exact same place. So you can own some models and you can run some models. I'm not going to go into that, but some folks can run things like DeepSeek, R1, R3, although provided your powerful hardware. There are alternatives out there, open source models. You can self-host on stuff. There's folks that like AI but don't want to use hosted AI, that only want to use local AI. You can do that now, thanks to again, Linux. But of course, these things, as I already said, aren't simple. You need some pretty beefy hardware, you need RAM. And just because something's open, wait, who knows how that data was originally trained on in the first place. So it's not a question of not AI or no AI. It's who owns it, who surveils it, and who pays the cost. So why does it matter? It's not going to go away. Whether the community likes it or not, Linux is the foundation of AI. Rejecting AI actually means rejecting the biggest use case for our own OS. If we want to call it a success story, it is a success story, whether we like it or not. Open source AI seems to be the compromise somewhere in between here, between proprietary and open. Completely agree on the privacy fight. It's legitimate, and everyone has right to push back, and the money will flow Linux. Whether Linux gets it or not, who knows, but it will definitely flow on it. So, what do you think about this, folks? Do you agree? Do you disagree? As always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.